From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast of sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hello.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold Mayday beer and let's get after it. As always, Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer of Pucks Out Podcast. Catch them every Tuesday for Singo and Thursday for Bingo, and be on the lookout because we are finalizing some dates. We're checking it twice, and we are going to have ourselves a Christmas time bingo soon, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe, I'm looking at my calendar. Maybe December 21st. I got to, talk with Brandon over here and see, what works for that, everyone. But until then, today we have got a bunch of dope stuff. We were talking hockey, obviously. We're talking college football. We got our games of the week. We're going up to the Yinzers for our joke of the week. But don't forget to check us out on Patreon and Twitch to support the show. And how are you this week, bud?
Man, I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing well. Just, been busy at work, but kind of pushing through, trying to get to this holiday. Believe it or not, I'm actually pumped up for Veterans Day coming up. I'm out on Friday, so that's super nice. Then we got one more week, and then Thanksgiving, and this is just a crazy fast part of the year. But I'm just doing well, just pushing through as well as I can. I went to the Auburn game this weekend, as I told you I was going to.
Nice.
Had a blast. Vanderbilt Stadium sucks. It's the worst. But good victory for Auburn. Yeah, man. How about yourself? How you doing?
Doing well, man. Just, tired, burning the candle on both ends, teaching, get my master's. But hey, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to have a beer. I'm glad to talk some hockey, and I'm super excited to talk about our games of the week again. But that's coming up a little bit later. Let's do a quick fit check. I'm rocking the Nashville SC hat because we're going to talk about them here in a couple minutes, but our boys are no longer in the hunt.
I know, man. Yeah, super, super sad. Good call. Almost rocked mine for the exact same reason, bro. So, nice. I'm rocking the Nashville Auburn Alumni Association shirt here. It's got the
nice.
Auburn Eagle in the middle of the as the V there. So super sick there. I think I'm rocking the Blue Crew hat. I need to holler at our boy Manny Blue. See what that boy's up to, dude.
Nice. Well, let's head on over into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
The San Jose Sharks are getting close to setting an NHL record, but it's not as good as you may think. The Sharks are on track to have the worst NHL season in history. They would be breaking their own record set in 1992 at 71 losses. They had 24 points that season. That was an 84-game season. They finally got their first win in the 12th game of the season. So there's a couple things here. They could still set the record for the worst 20-game start, which I believe was set at like 117 and like 2 or something like that.
Okay.
I don't remember which team that was. We'll see what happens.
What is sports about if not records, Bob?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The 92 team, we're talking about them. We're not talking about the team that slipped into the playoffs that year. We're talking about the team, not for great reasons, but no press is bad press. Unless it's talking about
bad things too.
Unless it's 71 losses, obviously that's rough. That is rough. That's something you don't want to be remembered for. I doubt that it's at 71. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to beat that record, dude. Right? 13 wins only.
I think technically, because that's how math works. They were, for a while they were on track to win 0 games. I think now they're on track to win 2 games. I think it was, or maybe 4 games.
Yeah, Bobby, you gotta really understand how extrapolating, data works. That's not, now that we have one, now we can extrapolate a little bit better. But hey. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not like rooting for it, but there is going to be a certain point that it's a turning point, right, Bob? Where I go from not caring you're just a bad hockey team to where I'm actively rooting for your downfall. Like when they put props, when they put prop bets up on DraftKings and they're like, will the Kings get their, break the record or whatever? I'm taking it. I'm hoping that I'm able to get that done. Bob, I was just, I've been doing a little bit of research. I know that it's, but I am seeing, this is totally off topic. This is more rounding us back to bingo. But I'm off on Friday the 22nd. I know you're off. You got a whole, long time, teachers got to take a break from those students. So they send them home for a good bit. But, mine are still far and few between. Adults are just always adults. I don't ever get like a break from, people are always them. I'm off on the 22nd, bro. So I wasn't going to be able to request any time, but I'm already off. So let me hit you with the strong maybe, dude. Let me hit you with the strong maybe.
Well, let me hit you with a weaker maybe, because I just got a text from our boy Ozzy, and unfortunately, they already have a theme and host for the 21st.
Fair enough.
So we're gonna work something out. We're gonna keep everyone just keep your pants on. We're going to get it figured out. We still have time. I know everyone's just knocking the doors down to figure out what day we're going to be hosting again, but we'll be there. Who's not here though is Charlie McAvoy with his 4-game suspension upheld by Gary Bettman. So yeah, he's I got him on some fantasy teams. He's sitting in my NA spot in the leagues that have it.
Yeah. What I haven't seen the video. Just saw the suspension was upheld, so I threw it on the dock.
Hit on Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
Looks like a high hit. Okay, let's do a little bit of quick independent research. I'm going to see what else is cranking on the dock. I can go ahead and talk about Jack Campbell clearing waivers. So I'm gonna
go for it.
Yeah, it was a week ago, suspended 4 games. So I've got the, what a terrible start to the season. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about Edmonton and how poorly they've started. So I don't want to get too deep into it, but Jack Campbell, not even claimed by anybody. That's a rough feeling for a goaltender, especially a guy that's done well before. So, So very, very sad to see in that downturn in Edmonton. I guess not a downturn if they never really got up, but a downturn from last year. One could say. So let me see here. Let's see this hit.
Oh, it's not a great hit. I just found a video of it. It's definitely a hit to the head. His shoulder goes into him. Let's see. It's a pretty good angle too. So it's not like, we don't know what we're working with here.
In the slow, and he's cutting right across the front of the net right there. Puck is well gone by now. He's out of the play.
Yeah.
And it's high. You can say, oh, well, it was accidental. Well, it doesn't matter, right? You hit somebody in the head. I'm not even
at this point. The rules have been around long enough. Yeah.
It doesn't even look like it's accidental.
That's a game misconduct for sure.
It looks like it's very intentional. I mean, not to hurt the guy or anything, but like there was no pull up from it.
Well, I don't think any of us want to hurt Charlie's feelings.
Well, I mean, you never know, man. No, it doesn't seem like there was any like. It almost seems like he threw the elbow even further to kind of further intensify it. So yeah, agree with that. Agreed with that. That upholding 4 games. That seems right. He's a previous offender. Am I correct on that, Bob?
Maybe again they've changed the rules for previous offender, because if you haven't had any offenses in like 2 seasons, maybe a season and a half, then technically your record gets cleared.
I would say he's had that within that time frame. I don't have that information on hand,
because I know for a while there, what's his name? Brad Marchand was technically not a previous offender when he got in trouble, which was, I feel like at a certain point when you've had so many, they should be like, all right, it's a habitual. Doubles. It takes a double amount of time each time.
It's like the 3 strikes thing in like, like legal precedents, like you're a career criminal. We're gonna fast track you to super jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, let's see here. I'm gonna see if I can find out if he's been suspended before.
Yeah. While you do that, per our friends at Evolving Hockey, Tage Thompson is currently the top defensive forward in the NHL by the defensive GAR. This is per Ben Mathewson on Twitter. Why don't you tell our friends what exactly GAR is so they know?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking up this. He has been suspended once before, but in 2019, it was a Stanley Cup playoff game. So that sounds like it's outside of the statute of limitations right there. Right, Bob? But yeah, the GAR is essentially goals above replacement. It's a statistic that's going to measure a player's overall contribution to their team, not just their overall compared to their team, compared to who would replace them if they were out. So it takes into account their offense, their defense, and their penalties. It's good to evaluate that player performance, and it can help them make decisions based on not necessarily this team is bad. So naturally, you don't want to just look at the plus minus of a guy or of whether or not they're good. They don't have guys surrounding them. So it's a good way to go in and say, well, this team is bad, but what would happen if this player was out and as compared to the guy that replaces them? So Tage Thompson, we kind of talked about him possibly continuing his hot streak. It seems he has done so. I mean, that's what you want to see. If he continues this, he'll obviously would be in contention for the Selke or the Bergeron, as some are calling it now, Bob. Looks like you added a link here, man. I don't know what this is at all. Yeah.
That's the video. That's the Charlie McAvoy video.
Gotcha. I found it on my own. No, perfect. I found it on my own. I was just like, what do you got here, Bob? We didn't even highlight this bad boy.
What's funny is I put that there, and then I immediately clicked on it thinking you put that there for the for the tweet.
Tricked yourself there, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. But all right, let's move into outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
The college football playoff rankings are upon us for the second week. Top 4: Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, Florida State. Washington sits at number 5. I'm looking for the biggest moves here. Let's see. We had a 11 to 10, 13 to 11, 16 to 12, 17 to 13 with Tennessee. I'm not seeing I guess the biggest move. Well, they're not
Oklahoma State
in the AP,
Oklahoma
but James
State
Madison
jumped 7 with their defeat of Oklahoma, who has now moved below them. They were previously 9, and now they're 17. So accurate to me on how they kind of jumped them up.
Unfortunately, not on this list. Yeah, unfortunately, not on this list is the 9-0 James Madison. They are only in their second year as an FBS team, and unfortunately, they have to have 2 years of no playoffs in their first 2 years of being an FBS team. I think they have put in a exemption form, and I do think that they. I feel like I think that's a dumb rule.
Yeah, well, I would like to see. A schedule. You know who they're playing, all that kind of stuff. Because you're telling me that Kansas State with 3 losses to the teams that they have 3 losses to should be put out because James Madison hasn't lost to, a team that is not, so I don't know if they would be ranked there. If they would be ranked there because they should be, then they should be. If that makes sense.
Okay, so let me clarify, because what I said was confusing. They're not under the assumption that they can somehow get to the top 4 and make it into the playoffs. What they want is to be bowl eligible. That's all. And honestly, with the hundreds and hundreds of bowls, they should be bowl eligible. Like that's
yes,
that's what I meant. I apologize.
Yeah. Bowl eligible is completely different. That just means you can go and play a bowl game. Okay, yeah, I thought you were saying like, oh, we're missing James Madison here on the top 25, and I'm like, no. I'm like, well, Bob, while I'm all about that Cinderella story, the Cinderella stories like UCF and teams that are and Boise State that were habitually good for a little bit that then worked their way into the good grace. I get what you're saying. No question. The struggle sometimes to find bowl teams where potentially a 5-7 team might be going anyway, and a Cinderella story especially. Now, what comes with bowl games, Bob? They need to be eligible for them, but bowl games are selected by the bowl, whatever presides over the Music City Bowl. They pick between their, so, if they're undefeated now, but if they go on a losing streak and just have 6 games, they should be eligible to be picked, but not expect to be. But if they go on a wide run and only lose a game or 2, they should be picked because people want to go.
And again,
see
nobody's saying, yeah,
you are 100% right. I don't say that often, Bob.
They went out and like I'm looking for their schedule. Let me just look on.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe they should be eligible to be ranked.
They beat a real team. They beat Virginia. They've beaten Troy. They've beaten Marshall.
Yeah, so they haven't beaten.
So these are teams.
They've beaten some solid teams. So I agree that they are a good team and should be bowl eligible. I don't know if they're cracking this 25 list, but that's not what you were saying. Yeah. So.
They're not in this 25 list, but they are ranked 19, I believe, in the AP polls this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're above Notre Dame. Okay. So I think for them, that's something they should hang up on the walls. Is them they don't have to put the season that it was. They can just say, hey, 1 year we were better than Notre Dame in the polls. But all right, let's move on now to NSC loses round to Orlando 2-0. They are now out of the playoffs. Man, that's a killer because I definitely thought they would possibly move on at least one round, but nope, couldn't do it.
Do we have I'm sorry, man. It doesn't sound like you hit our drop. We have a drop for this. I didn't hear a drop.
Because we just did college. We did it before the college football playoff rankings.
We did. Okay, yeah. I was just I forgot that we were talking. Yeah. It's been that kind of week, man. And I think I was looking. I was like,
you almost threw me off. I was like, what? I was like, do we have a national soccer drop? But yeah, so they are out. I do not have an updated bracket right now to look at. Now that nationals out, I kind of
for you.
Stopped caring a little bit.
I can, yeah. Let's say MLS bracket. I don't know why I called it. I just said MLS Cup bracket. Like that's not it at all. Like the playoffs. Is that what you meant? All right, playoffs. You're talking about playoffs. All right, here we go. It got me.
Playoffs.
Got what I'm saying. It got what I'm saying. All right.
Playoffs.
All right.
Don't talk about playoffs.
There you go.
You kidding me?
We haven't yet.
We still got a couple drops.
Yeah, man, you hadn't dropped them on us in a bit. It is slowly but surely loading up.
That means one other person's probably looking at it.
That's I forgot about that. I forgot about that age-old adage that only one. Okay.
While you do that, I'm going to give an update on the Michigan scandal. Michigan alleges Ohio State, Rutgers, Purdue shared its signals. I'm assuming they are trying to get out of their, the punishment of them stealing signals.
Yeah. We knew it was coming.
Let's see.
We knew it was coming.
The Big Ten forwarded any information it had to the NCAA, though it's unclear if the signal sharing between the three teams violated the Big Ten sportsmanship policy or any of the league's other regulations.
You've heard me talk about it, Bob.
The rules.
I don't think it does, bro. I think that it's silly. Like, change up your stuff, right? I mean, I forget who talked about it, but I think it was an Oklahoma. It was the Red River rivalry, and in Oklahoma, Texas, a guy faked it. You know, like, oh, hey, take this fake play card and like walk in front of them and like act like you're putting it in your belt, like it was a fake script, and drop it. And then right in front of the Texas people, they grabbed it, they get it. And so like the first play on the script was like a double reverse or whatever. And so you could just see the defense bite for the fake play that they obviously went a completely different way, dominate. So that's I guess my point is, and that's even a little different than, look, these are games previous to the games they play. If you're telling me they don't get game tape, if I hired, Dr. Spencer Reed to be on my football team and he had an eidetic memory, he's not supposed to use that. Like, don't get out of here. That's my
100%.
personal opinion.
I think
if it's against the rules, then they shouldn't do it for sure. I'm not arguing that point. I'm just arguing
and that's my whole thing is that it just like when the Patriots were filming people because that was the Patriots, everyone was like, oh, the Patriots cheated. And I was like, and I'll say with this here,
they used facility cameras and location. That's the difference to me than like me going, buying a ticket and just in the stadium.
Well, to the NCAA said the same exact thing the NFL said. The NFL and the NCAA said both, listen, you're allowed to do what they did, but the teams agreed. They signed a contract that they're going to do it a certain way. If you're going to do it, you have to alert people. And so because Michigan then agreed, so the fact that Michigan went around and didn't do what they agreed to, now they're in the fall. It's not that they did it; it's how they did it.
See, that's the difference. That's
the
first time
and the fact that they're dumb enough to get caught.
Side. Yeah. Well, we all knew that when everybody else wasn't speaking out on it. I was like, oh man, everybody else is in on it. Yeah. I mean, so like again, we kind of knew probably this was coming. I do have an update on that MLS bracket for you, brother. We do have Orlando moving on. They will play either Atlanta or Columbus. They're tied at 1 game apiece. That game is on the 12th. Philadelphia leads 1-0 over New England, and Cincy has won the series in a shootout. So they'll be moving on, and they'll play either Philly or New England. On the East, the West, we have Seattle and Dallas tied at 1 game, and LAFC is moving on. They'll play the winner of that Seattle-Dallas series. We have Houston and Real Salt Lake tied at 1, and Sporting Kansas City won over the 1 seed St. Louis in 2 games, and will be moving on to play either Houston or Real Salt Lake. So a big upset there. Everything kind of still, the 1 seed winning in the West or the East and losing in the West. So could be anybody's. But like you, man, I am not. It's football season. I am not as interested and do not care anymore as much as I did since it is not my team. And maybe that's wrong. Maybe, but But no, I had to miss going to the playoff game last night. I wish I could have made it out, but I wasn't able to do so.
Yeah, and it is crazy. It's still crazy to me that Miami didn't make it into this cup. I mean, they spent just a ridiculous amount of their cap on Messi, and they didn't.
Yeah, but it was not crazy at all. Like they didn't have the time. Like they didn't have enough games. They didn't have the time to like make it. Like if they were the only team playing and winning and won every game, I can believe they didn't make it. They did win. Like going to the League Cup and winning the League Cup, bro. They won. Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
They can come back next year and be available, but they won their money's worth, I'm sure. And so I need Messi to be here one more year So he comes and plays in Nashville, and I can. As much as I'd love to see Messi play, man, I've just got dollar signs in my eyes, Bob. I cannot help it, man.
But all right, let's move on now to our main topic of the day. We are talking about Edmonton's slow start and whether, and what we're seeing from Connor McDavid, and it looks like he may be a little bit human.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, they correct me if I'm wrong. They traditionally have slow starts. Maybe not this slow. They tend to get it together. So what are they sitting at right now? I've got the standings pulled up somewhere. I've got
2-8,
2-8 and 2-8-1. 11 games into the season. It is very early. They're -18. Three games go by, they can very easily kind of close that gap in my mind. I guess our question on the main topic is, will they? And that is tougher to say. They have not had the goaltending. You would have to assume that there is some regression towards the mean in that regard. That they're that some goaltending will get a little bit more to their favor, paired with their goal scoring, being able to, counteract that. So, I mean, they may still get some goals scored on them, but if they can stop enough to where their offense is going, I mean, he's sitting there with 10 points. So, I mean, I don't know what we're talking about. Too human. He's almost at a point a game. That's not.
Well,
wild.
he's only got 2 goals through 9 games now, which is substantially below his average for almost 10 games into the season.
Yeah, but
and again,
we go.
He's not superhuman like he usually is.
Yeah. I mean, I can absolutely agree with that he hasn't lit it up, but I guess just 11 game sample size is just too low for me to say, okay, the chips are not falling right in a hockey game. That can happen. Now we get into closer to 20 games, and we're still on a similar pace. And I guess a 20 game sample size would be roughly 4 goals. That's a little more worrisome. We're deep into the series.
Usually Thanksgiving is when I think in past years you and I have decided that American Thanksgiving is when we can firmly start giving judgments on teams, and it's a big enough sample size, which I think does fall right around the 20 game mark.
And since we decided it dubs it so. So I am worried in the sense that you're sitting right there at 2-8. And Connor McDavid, oddly enough, 2 goals, 8 assists. That's something that I'm definitely watching out for. But I've seen this man's, do so many ridiculous things that him coming out and we get to the 20 game mark, Bob, and he's sitting at 15 goals and 17 apples. You're not going to color me surprised him go on a 11 game heater and score 13 goals in that. Like, that's what we're talking about right now. If we're sitting here talking he has 10 goals right now, are we even having this discussion? Are we? Honestly, it's appreciative that he gave us something that we can just sit here and babble about for a bunch of minutes. For our main topic, you know what I'm saying? Like, thank you. He did this for us, Bobby. He's like, dude, I'm not even gonna drop goals in the first 10 games. I'm gonna get everybody worried. He said, but then Pucks Out Podcast gonna have a main segment about it. I'm going on a little heater. Let's all right. This time, let's say we want to say Thanksgiving, whatever our Thanksgiving episode. How many goals do you think Connor McDavid has at that point? I'm going to just throw it in there. Maybe we'll remember to go look at it. Maybe we won't. But if one of us is close, we will. How many goals?
Let's see. I need to see how many games they have. Because, I mean, if they have more games
we're going
than the other teams, so let me pull up their
we're going in blind, dude. He's at 2 goals right now. The American Thanksgiving, Going in raw, dude.
Thanksgiving,
Like they
I'm going to
used
say
to. Like our fathers before us when they were talking sports, bro.
I think it's Connor McDavid, and I'm probably going to regret this, but I'm going to say 11.
Okay, 11. 9 goals, not crazy. Could do it in 2 games. I'm going to go with 10. I don't want to leave you hanging. Before you hung yourself out there.
You got a Price is Right me?
And I was actually going to go like 9. So yeah. So, I mean, I guess that's fair, right? If you would rather me do 9 and give you a shot at winning than me do 10 just to take it all from you if he doesn't hit 11. Right? You want the shot at 10?
It don't matter.
No,
it
I'm
don't
going
matter.
10. I'm going 10
We'll
goals.
do 10 and 11. Do 10 and 11.
I'm going 9 because I'm going to
11.
actually guess what I think. I'm going to go with 9.
Nice. All right. So 9 or 11 goals.
Really don't want to move into this next segment. Can we just keep talking? Can we just keep talking here?
Let's move into our games of the week.
Games of the week. Bobby and Brandon do the work, so you don't have to. The best from around the NHL and what to watch.
We move into another week of games of the week.
Very sad week.
This
for me.
Another good week. Another good week. I'm currently sitting at 7-2, and Bond is sitting at 2-7. Another
atrocious. Another 0-3
week.
Yeah.
See,
I feel like I got a press
you jinxed yourself last week by saying I've never lost 5 games. I lost 3 though. So, but now you've lost 6 in a row, which has never been done. I don't think.
No, I've definitely lost all 5. That was never in question. It was the fact that you won all.
I think it was all 5. Yeah.
We won all and lost all, and I said we'll see next week. And so I think we've done exactly what we've done before and come very close where one of us hits it.
Yeah.
Really good, really great job, man. You're dominating me right now. I feel like I got to give a press conference at this point. I mean, look, I'm the Edmonton.
You're coaching for your job now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look, the thing is, we just gotta get back to basics, man. I just gotta get back to the basics with my pick. The thing is, it's a volatile season, and I've just got to trust myself, Bob. I don't need to go away from what's worth. I mean, I'm the 2-time reigning champ. We're gonna fix this. We're looking actively at games and what games are going to be good, and it's going to be a get right. So 2-7 going into the money. You are obviously, for obvious reasons, I can't really win anything if I'm losing everything. So money wise, you are absolutely shredding me. We're $9 in, and you are at $13.87. Great job, and pretty good with your. You very rarely pick a puck line, and you've done very well for yourself. And then I am sitting at $9 in at $4.25. So I got to add that $3 and then very easily just subtracted $3 from that total, Bob. My math was super easy today. I didn't have any, usually if we win, I have to go and look up the odds or go and look up the bet that I made or whatever. Today, super easy for me. Easy money. And yours was actually super easy too, unfortunately, because it was all plus money. I can do that money at math in my head. So it's pretty much overall been a pretty rough 2 weeks. So can't even say it. I'm stuttering it out, Bob. I'm flustered, and I need to take it back a bit.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. The defending champions have their backs up against the wall, and who knows? Maybe they're coaching for their job. We'll see what happens. See what announcements come out. Maybe some leaks will drop soon.
It's 3 bad weeks before we even start talking about talking about it, dude. What are we talking about here? My job's in jeopardy. I got the cup sitting right up here, bro. I'll take that bad boy with me to whatever team or whatever podcast will have me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not many. I could probably get on a few Russian
you'll still
podcasts.
you'll still be on the podcast, but games of the week, Davey might have to come in to do games of the week to give the people what they want.
We have somebody actually come in and like I get relegated. I've been relegated in my own.
But all right, well, let's start it off on Friday night, the 10th. I've got the Flames going into Toronto, and I am taking the Toronto puck line.
Yeah, love that. When I initially looked, I saw you had one, but I didn't look at what you had, and I was like, "Oh, that'll be a good game." You snagged it. Love the puck line pick. I mean, scared money don't make money, Bob. You have a real opportunity right now to, game wise, I can catch up. I'm not worried about the games. But if you keep winning your bets and you win the right bets, you can start putting a boot on me in that category. So I really like that pick, man. Me, weirdly enough, for my get right week, I'm gonna go with the surprisingly 7-5 Ducks right now. They're playing at home against the Flyers. And let me hit you with this, Bob. I'm going puck line not in hopes that they are the underdog, but in hopes that they are the favorite. I think
they will be.
I'm very confident that I'm going to get the win, games of the week wise, putting it out there a little bit for that puck line move, because I think that's going to be a decent money maker. So I'm going to go with the puck line, Ducks. I think you are up for your Saturday game, brother. I love this pick too.
Yep. Saturday, I've got a noon puck drop. I've got the Blue Jackets heading into Detroit. Again, noon puck drop, and I got the Detroit money line.
Yeah, love it. You know what I would have done to mix that up, Bob? Boom! Would have puck lined that bad boy. I'm glad you didn't. You got the nice win there. I don't want you to make money. No changes these. Changes these?
No, I'm not changing it.
Okay.
No changes.
I'm gonna go with changes. Boom. There it is. I'm in my own head, man. I don't even know words anymore. We got the games of the week. I start sweating.
You got the yips.
I start sweating, dude. I'm like pouring sweat over here. I don't know what do I do with my hands on this podcast, Bob.
It's gonna cut to like a Space Jam montage of you seeing a counselor or a sports counselor.
Hey, can I pick games with you guys? I'm like, it's like,
man,
it's like
you ain't Brandon. You get out of here.
It's like me in a sports bar. I'm like, I'll take the Sharks. I'm gonna go with the alternate puck line here. Go with -1.5. They're like, man, you ain't Brandon Bond. So to go to my second game of the week, in my get right week here. I'm gonna go. I think these are just teams that have beat the Preds at big game. They caused me the most pain. So you can help me heal this pain. Sabres are playing at Pittsburgh, the Penguins, who started slow. We were talking about them at the bottom. They've kind of pushed up. They are even at 5-5 right now. So a little bit closer. They're still sitting at the bottom. I'm sorry, they're 5-6. They're still at the bottom of that division, but that's a strong division right now. They are playing the Sabres, who are doing pretty well for themselves. They are sitting at 6 at 6-6. I'm gonna go with the Penguins money line at home there. Nice. That's 6:30 on Saturday, 11/11. So I'm going to be making a wish, Bob. Yeah. Weirdly enough, that Sidney Crosby and the gang pulls one off.
Yeah. All right. So my last game, and originally I was going to pick the game that you have chosen, but I made an audible at the last minute. I'm going Blackhawks into Florida. I've got the Panthers puck line with another noon puck drop.
Easy money for me. I think you're 3 for 3 this week. I think you're cashing all your bets. As unfortunate as that is, it was your turn to pick first this week. You got in, you got the 2 best games. And then even, I think I skipped over your game that you got on Saturday. I don't know what kind of voodoo you got on me, but I think the Yips was a good way of putting it here, Bob. I have the Canucks playing the Habs on Sunday at 6 p.m. Canucks are playing good hockey, man. They're 9-2. They're looking solid right now. They're looking a lot like they are in my mind, can be the Devils of last year. You know, we had big hopes for the Devils 2 years ago, not so much this year, this past year, and then the Devils stepped it up. And I think maybe we were a year off on Vancouver as well. Highly possible that they fall down the standings, and this is a flash in the pan. But I like the Canucks. The Habs are not bad. I'm hoping for the Canucks being favored, playing the Habs, playing at Montreal. I'm going with the Canucks puck line, buddy.
So you hope the Canucks win and that they are plus
-1. The Canucks are winning by 2. I'm not. If they happen to be not favorites because they're not at home or whatever for whatever reason, then I'll accept the +1.5 line and I'll take what I get from it. But I think that they're going to be favored.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read it. I read it as Canadians. I thought you had Canadians highlighted. No. So yeah, that's why I was like, But okay. So yeah, you've got the Canucks winning. Okay. Yeah, I think they will be favored. I think that's an easy win for you.
Hey, easy wins for me.
I think you've got 3 good games to get back on track.
Easy wins have not come easy for me. So I will tell you this.
Yeah. However,
Flyers,
I feel like you're asking
a
lot.
I know.
I think you're asking a lot for 2 teams that have hurt you to try and help you now. I feel like you could come back saying that you hate them more than ever.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win, Bob. I don't know what you want me to say to you, buddy. If I get to hate the Ducks and the Penguins more than I already hated the Ducks and the Penguins, am I worse off? Really? Just all because I don't have to get to have a little plastic cup in my house now? I've decided just disparaging the whole. We'll see where I'm at next week. I come in 5-7 with the little strut, dude. You come in 8-4. You know, I'm whatever. You know, I'm all good. I come in 2-10, and you're sitting at 10-2. And you know, stupid. I mean, it's stupid, Bobby. It's stupid, dude. We're never gonna. You can't just predict things. You can't just predict things.
Okay. All right, let's move into joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like this. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each 6th chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
All right, you found this one. Hit us with it.
It's a sad state of affairs in this country, Bob. When a man, let me just read the headline: Prison time for a man accused of breaking into police station to retrieve his seized drugs. Well, what I have to say to that is, why did you take this man's drugs in the first place? It doesn't sound like they were yours. So, the picture, Bob. Yep. It's I don't know if you've looked at the article yet. Yep. Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. He's been arrested 6 times since 21. He's finally getting his shot at the show. It's like when you're playing in the minor leagues for so many years, and you finally get called up to the show. He's finally getting his first shot at prison. 23. He was in court on Tuesday for parole. I think he's been convicted, right? I'm not going to say his name. I mean, it's in a news article, so they know better than me how to not get sued. Lyric Win. Lyric, yep. Lyric, yep.
Who honestly looks like a character from Shameless.
He could very easily have stumbled into the South Side. He could be a guy looking for Frank Gallagher in a bar, 100%. Or let me hit you with this, Bob.
Or play young Frank Gallagher in a prequel.
play young Frank Gallagher in a prequel, or the guy that Frank Gallagher is hanging out with in whatever bar you finally find him in. That's, I mean, I've never seen Shameless, but that's the premise.
I mean,
right?
neither, but I've seen clips.
Every episode is just finding the new place that this deadbeat dad is now located.
Yeah.
It's he's drunk for sure, 100%.
I bet. Yeah. It's like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, but it's where in the world is Frank Gallagher.
Frank Gallagher, but on the south side. You know, he's on the south side somewhere.
Yes,
I'll confirm. Does Megan watch Shameless?
No.
Okay, I think Stephanie has seen a little bit. I'll confirm. I'll roundabout later. But yeah, he said authorities said Wynn tried to break into the Lock Haven Police Department to retrieve drugs that had been seized from him. Later, police tried to pick him up on a probation detainer, but he ran away, which led to a chase, and still, Wynn wasn't done for the day. Authorities said in jail he made comment to a probation officer about how much she valued her life, and then he threw a container of unknown fluid. It was piss. He threw piss on her of unknown fluid on the officer. It's always they're trying to save this embarrassment for this officer, but piss. After that, I feel like I've gone into the libel section, Bob, where I don't know that it was piss, but I've just declared it. After that, he said he made several additional threats to harm other people, including one of the deputies and correctional officers at sentencing. The DA said Wynn claimed he was nonviolent offender and asked the judge to give him time served. Obviously, the DA disagreed due to the nature of the threats, Bob, of which he says, "I'm going to hurt you." The DA disagreed. He didn't say that specifically, but from the threats and the "I'm going to hurt you, how much do you value your life?" You may not actually act on it, but I have no way of knowing since you broke into a police station.
Enough people have.
I can't trust you, man. Like the one place you don't break in to steal drugs. Like you should have gone to a drug dealer's house because like they could have killed you, but they wouldn't have been able to arrest you. You know.
You went to a place where they can do both.
No respect for probation officers, no respect for other human beings. The defendant has been given every benefit of the doubt. This is the same guy who tried to burglarize the police department to get his drugs back. Enough is enough. At this point, he has earned his state prison sentence. And I'm not a big, everybody needs to be locked up for, but it sounds like, bro, we giving you your opportunities. It's maybe send you for a few years. I'm not even saying I think that you should be treated poorly in prison. You should be rehabilitated. They should give you opportunity to better yourself. But no, man, no, come on. You're making call. What a joke, buddy. What a joke. You steal drugs from other people that do drugs that can't tell the people that can arrest you about the drugs. You don't steal drugs from the people that already took your drugs and either did arrest you or didn't arrest you. What a joke.
Yeah, what an absolute joke. Let's move into what's snapping our sticks.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right. So, recently, probably for the first time since COVID, I've gotten back into the gym. I've been working out a couple days before school in the weight room. And good Lord, I felt good the first day, second day good. Now, the third day, after working out, after 2 or 3 big workouts, and all day, I have been absolutely sore.
Yeah.
Like, it's just every movement hurts a little bit. Taking steps hurts. And I'm just like, ooh, I should have either stretched more or maybe started off a little bit slower.
Have you, see what I normally do, and it usually works for me, Bob. I just don't start. And I don't ever have to get, let me hit you with this. You don't have to get to day 3. You don't even have to get to day 2. You don't even have to get to day 1. It's super, my plan is super easy, dude. You just don't do it. No, I feel you though. No, but in all seriousness, I have been, I need to to get out there and hit the heavy bag, dude. So I'm sure that the first few times, like I'm gonna have some sore wrists, and but I do love going out and punching the heavy bag in the cold, dude. There's nothing better that makes you. There's nothing more.
Yeah.
That makes you feel like Rocky, dude. You got like your beanie, dude. You can't have it's got to be a nondescript beanie. It's got to be the black guy. Like is this guy burglaring me, or is he, trying to run a mile down the road? He's shadow boxing. I don't know, so maybe I'll get a fully gray sweatsuit and just like have people guessing out, in the morning time. Cause I gotta sit outside. So, hell yeah, bro. Mine pretty quick. I think once a year, I think twice a year, really. One of us gets this one. But living like farmers, Bob, we're not farmers. I don't know why we're moving our clocks around. I don't know if they know this, but time just happens, bro. We can move yeah. So let's get rid of it. We came up with flashlights and like headlights and all sorts of stuff for farmers. We give them subsidies. The thing is, we got to take the clock back, dude. Just like Arizona did. Arizona's like, dude, we never had farmers. I don't even know what y'all are talking about. What are we talking about here? Daylight saving time. Like, no, we're not they're just like in the middle of a time zone, dude. And they're just like, no, like we can just do it. That's what I'm saying. Let's just do it. Everybody just and like the thing is, let's just get in sync with Arizona. Whatever Arizona's doing hasn't fallen off the face of the earth yet. Right? Like it's fine. It's totally fine. We're not farmers. There's a low percentage of us that are farmers. Let's just we ruin this country so much, according to so many people. Let's just ruin it for the farmers too. So the rest of us can live a normal life and don't have to have the habitual every year. Oh, well, it's fall. So it's a fall back. So I gain an hour, but do I gain that? Like it's a whole discussion that doesn't even matter because time, it just happens, dude. We don't gain or lose anything because we've lived for that hour. If you're dying on your deathbed and you're going to die at midnight, well, the clock may say 11 or whatever, but you're dead. You're dead at the time that the clock says. So I don't know, man. It's just, I feel like one of us has to go.
I do want to follow that up because a lot of people don't know this, and I do want to correct people because I had to correct a lot of my students. They always say they hate how it gets dark so early, and they hate daylight savings they hate daylight saving times. Well, no. They like daylight saving times. Yes, and I tell them daylight saving times this is standard time.
Stay.
We are
Yes, we should stay. Yeah, CST is better than CDT. CDT means now, dude. We want the time. We want the time.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree. Yes.
I like this time. I like it when it gets darker early.
No, not me. Yeah, you used to be a man that worked from his home. Good portion. So you didn't have to live like the rest of us live when we get off, dude, and maybe we don't see the sun in a day. You know what I'm saying? Like
I love that. I love getting off work when there's no sun.
Okay.
Even if it's not in your eyes when you're driving, it's nice and cool. It's not hot.
Okay, Bob. I'll circle back, dude. I'll circle back when you've lived with the rest of us hooligan. You may love
this
it.
is works. That means that you get to complain about this once a year, and I get to complain about when it switches.
Yeah, I see. I don't care, dude. If we decided to go this way, I would prefer just pick one is my thing. Like I just don't want to switch.
Yeah. 100%.
And so at the
end of the day, it's not a big deal. I'm cool with just not switching.
You are, and see, the thing is, Bob, is like what you may love it, but I'm guessing I haven't driven with you on your commute yet, but I'm guessing that you're not the only one driving on your commute. Am I right? You drive with a good amount of people.
Correct.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of folk. So they're also going to be driving in the dark for an extended period of time. And they don't like it. And they're terrible. I don't know who they are, dude. I don't know who drives around you. But I can tell you, I've commuted a fair amount of time. Whoever does drive around you are horrible human beings, and you don't know how they couldn't pass your class is what you think when they, so I'm just saying, just think about it. It's not about you. it's about others, what we have to, the common denominator. So,
hey, way to end it off on a deep saying. But all right, guys. Hey, thanks for hanging out. See y'all next week. For Brandon, I'm Bobby. This has been the Pucks Out Podcast. We'll see you all again next week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.